I'm a pop culture geek.
And I'm a data guru.
Together, we're Data Decoded. Welcome to Data Decoded, where we bring you the coolest data guru around, Deanna McFadder, founder of Nachi, to decode the data and technology behind some of our favorite stories in movies, television shows, and comic books. Deanna, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited
Tonight's episode, we decode the 1999 smash hit The Matrix and the notion of, well, are we living in the Matrix and don't even know it right now? Deanna, can you decode that for us? How close are we to the Matrix, and would we even be in the Matrix and not even know it?
Yeah, the Matrix with all of its magic, I think we're still fairly far away from it. But which is good.
Unless that's what they want you to tell us.
Exactly. It depends on which pill you took. But what I do think is where we're close to is sort of this alternate reality idea, which is obviously core to the Matrix concept, and particularly with the idea of the metaverse and a digital world that we live in and exist in, and new and different things can happen in a digital world that cannot happen in the physical world.
Sure.
is where you start to experiment with and explore the possibilities that I think the Matrix sort of brings to light, and the consequences that the Matrix sort of brings to light as well.
What's interesting about things like the metaverse is it brings to mind more of a Ready Player One kind of like, haha, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be able to connect. And I could be in New York and you could be in LA, and we'll both be at the same concert, and there'll be a giant giraffe in front of us. Yes, that is the actual Facebook metaverse video, by the way. I don't know how the giraffe got the tickets, and I don't know why I got stuck behind the giraffe, but in the video that Mark Zuckerberg released, there is actually that. I'm not even kidding. But yeah, it's all this like fun stuff, and you get to be avatars, and you get to be better than you are in the real world. However, that could easily flip and be the Matrix, where we're kind of locked into this endless world and simulation. What direction? I know which direction we're hoping we go in with this, but which direction do you see us going in with this?
Yeah, it's hard to tell, Michael, because, in the Matrix, right, you basically plug into the Matrix with like a tube in the back of your head, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how you plug into it. How
it's so 90s.
Yeah, very 90s. How it's being experimented with now, right? Of how you would plug into our version of the Matrix is through a chip implanted in your brain, right? Elon Musk, they're working on that now. I'm sure other people are as well. Through your eyeballs, through putting on a headset, right? That's how you plug in to this alternative reality. And as realism becomes more and more the thing. So if you look at any of these metaverse projects, which I've been looking at, one of their selling points is how real it is.
Yeah.
Right. So there's some that look like video games, just like you said, Ready Player One, which are fun. And you're like, oh, it keeps you in a fun vibe. Yeah. But especially as you go to, I want to experience things like a concert. Yeah. When I want to experience real life, what's the technology going to do? Match real life. And our brains are actually, and our hearts actually, because it's both, because since we have the emotion kind of connected to it, it's plausible that we wouldn't be able to decipher if I'm in a made up reality. What is a deep fake right now, right? I can make a video that never happened, but everyone thinks it happened. And because it's a video, we say that must have happened. And so the metaverse actually is a extreme version of that, of a deep fake that of course could be used to harm us, to make us believe something, something that we think happened, that never actually happened or only happened in this alternate reality. And so I think that's sort of what we're opening the doors to. Yeah. And yeah, just like you said, sitting in a place where it's all fun and games right now, but even, I mean, I know we're focused on the Matrix, but the show, the Westworld, is similar, right? Where you go to an alternate reality as sort of a vacation. But it is real, right? It feels real. It's and people that can cross over, right, that are superhuman, then essentially are like start asking the question on why are there these two realities? Yeah. And shouldn't there just be one, right? And which one's real? And am I real? And so it starts to open up all those questions because you've trained it to be us, because you want me to interact with it. Yeah. So the second that I'm able to go into this alternate reality and I'm interacting with a person from the future or the past, that's when we start to get into a very interesting set of questions, I think.
I read a really great article on from Barry Weiss's Substack from a guest reporter, Antonio Garcia Martinez. I want to give the credit where credit is due. The title of the article was "You're Already Living in the Metaverse." It was in response to something Dave Chappelle had said. Dave Chappelle is wrong. Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and even this platform, talking about Substack, are real life. Where do you fall on that notion that we are already, in a way, living in the metaverse because things that are happening online directly influence things that are happening right now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on your definition, I guess, is the reality of it. I do think that there needs to be, for the metaverse, there has to be sort of a 4-dimensional aspect to it.
Yeah.
And so I still have the option to unplug from the things that you use as examples. Like, I don't have to engage in those things. And so the second that I do, I think that's really when we're in this world of the metaverse. Again, like the Matrix, right? So essentially the entire existing world today was taken over, right? And there was an alternate reality that mirrored it, that had different things happening. And so that, when that happens, right? So which I think we're on the brink, right? When Korea decides they're going to create Seoul, the entire city of Seoul will be in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Why do I need the entire city? Right. So like, that's when you start to think that's when I think it becomes, where we're already living in it, is when some of your necessities for life, none of my necessities for life right now require it yet. You could argue that it does, but it doesn't. It's not a necessity for life, right? So the second that it happens, which again, the government is what can unlock that. So if Seoul says that the only way you can pay your bill to have water in your home is you have to actually put on this headset.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? And press a button. When that becomes the reality, which I do think we're close to, then we're truly already living in the metaverse. And we might just think it's, oh, this is really convenient and easy.
Yeah.
But we've actually opened that door fully.
I feel like, just to bring it full circle with the Matrix, we're actually going in between the two worlds right now. I know there's definitely conversations I have with folks where they come at me, or they come at the conversation we're having with data that they've gotten off of Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, or emotions they've gotten where they're already emotionally charged. And that kind of goes full circle with the quote you were talking about from The Matrix, where we're talking about human emotion. It's a word. What matters is the connection the word implies. I think that's from Revolutions. And it's weird because you sit there and say, well, you're coming into this conversation fully charged from something that didn't actually happen in reality. It happened on this other reality. So what is the solution to this that we might be experiencing right now?
Well, if we think the consequences are too dangerous, I think the first thing is stop calling it a reality. So, we call it an alternate reality. Yeah. So we have to decide what is real. And if all we need to do is program it, and we decide that that's reality and it's the same, or an alternate version of it. So I think we need to question how our language, words matter, and emotions are a real thing. And it isn't just the reaction to a word, that there is it's even measurable, right? There is data behind the electricity that happens when the human connection happens. Yeah. And so anyway, so I think that it's questioning our definitions and our word choice. Like the fact that in the last 5 or 10 years, we've decided to use a thing called alternate truths. That's not a real thing, Mike, right? Just like I think alternate reality, there's one reality. And so we can go to another place, but I don't think we can call that an alternate reality. I know that's a big statement for me to say, but I think that starting to question our language and how we use words will start us along the questioning in the right way, so that we don't lead ourselves again down a path of destruction where we're taking the wrong pill.
And we're being overtaken by robots, which we never want. We just never want that. That was The Matrix Decoded. This has been another episode of Data Decoded. For more great podcasts just like this, go to roguematter.com. Join the movement. Go Rogue. We will see you guys next week.